Good Tuesday morning of the 30th week of the year. This is an interesting text. This is not an easy text. I've looked at it a couple of hours ago and I'm back to it, and I'll read it to you and then I'll show you why it's tricky. He says, I consider that the sufferings of this present age are as nothing compared with the glory to be revealed in us. That's of course true. Think of Good Friday and think of our participation in it. We fill up those things wanting in the suffering of Christ. That's St. Paul in the letter to the Romans. Is St. Paul, his genius. That's his genius. We fill up those things wanting in the suffering of Christ. But this is the tricky line. This is interesting. I think of who's Paul, who's he writing to, talking to the Romans. But the Romans are influenced by the Greeks. And it's a profound humanism. See? Watch what he says. For creation, he didn't say our souls, for creation awaits with eager expectation the revelation of the children of God. See? The whole of the universe awaits the revelation of the children of God. He's got to mean at that moment the last judgment in which all is revealed. And it's not just the human. This is why it's not the soul. It's all of humanity, and all of reality shares in the resurrection. It's the way I said at Mass this morning, the goodness of the earth is made completely holy. In Christ it's made holy. And in the final revelation, the apocalypse, whatever you want to call it, okay, you will see that the world is not only good and beautiful, but holy, sharing in the holiness of Christ on Good Friday through Easter Sunday. See, watch what he says. For creation was made subject to futility. Think of the sin of Adam. That's exactly what he's thinking of. Not of its own accord, but because of the one who subjected it, in hope that creation itself will be set free from slavery to corruption and share in the glorious freedom of the children of God, that all form of death and decay and diminishment will be eliminated. We will only have the fullness of existence in beauty and goodness. See? So, boy, this interesting line. Talk about an earth-centered spirituality. St. Paul is pulling all the stops. We know that all creation is groaning in labor pains, even until now. The creation is. He didn't say human beings, creation is. And not only that, but we ourselves, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, we also groan within ourselves as we await for adoption, the redemption of our bodies. See, it's not the soul, it is the resurrection of the body, the resurrection of the universe from death to life. See, all of creation rises. All of creation rises in the final moment of time. See? For in hope we are saved. We were saved. Okay? Now, hope that sees for itself is not hope. For who hopes for what one sees? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait with endurance. I think of that. Somebody asked me, not long ago, I think I mentioned this thing. I repeat myself so much. Maybe I'm just old and senile. I don't know. I don't remember half the things I say, and the other half I don't remember either, but we won't go into that. But somebody asked me one time what I thought of in paradise, and I said to be with my family. To be with my family, to be with those and my friends, Junie, all whom I have loved and been loved by. And I see that in bodily form. I see that all as a communion of love and the resurrection of Christ and the world, the beauty of the world. Yeah. Even my dog Lily, you see. Whatever has being, whatever has the density of reality, will have the density of holiness. See? The time as passage, but not into oblivion, but ultimately into the eternity of being, goodness, and beauty, the so-called transcendentals. But now it's personal. In our resurrection, the resurrection of the universe occurs. We're not going to be floating bodies in paradise. We are going to be in a transformed and very, very eternally beautiful universe of life. in Christ and through Christ. We will all share in his resurrection. Christ rises in his body, in his bodiliness, and we in the universe with him. He sat down and ate dinner with him. Remember that? That's a key point. He's bodily transformed, see? And so is the universe with him. And we will see that revelation at the end of time. In the end of time, we will see the holiness of all that is good, true, and beautiful. That it is not only good, true, and beautiful, but eternal and holy. What a thing of promise, don't you think? Or else, as you get older, you feel the passage of time very poignantly because you bury the generation above you, the people you have loved and been loved by, your parents, your grandparents, your friends. And I think of all the dead in my life. It's in some senses the people I have truly loved the most in this world. My parents, my aunts and uncles, my grandmother. I'm talking really personally now. June, the people of my life, who I want to be with again forevermore. I want to see and be with my family again forevermore, with Junie forevermore. I want, as I walk this life with her and her family, I want to walk in eternity with her and my family and her family. That nothing is lost, it can be saved. You see, I believe that, and I believe in it, and I hope for it with a passionate hope, you see. And I see the whole world as yearning for the holy and the eternal. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it is what I believe. And so when I was asked, well, how I saw paradise, I saw paradise as my family, those I have loved and been loved by, who God gave me as companions in life, as members of his son's body, the church, the monks that I lived with. I think of my classmates who are closer to me than my own family in many ways. Yes, I want to be with them again in paradise. And I hope they will welcome me with love, as I hope after I die, I will welcome those who follow me in death. I will welcome them. See? A communion of life and love and friendship in the deepest sense of the word. A communion of those among whom we have loved and been loved by. That to me is creation crying out. See? That's the truth. That's the truth. Believe in the holiness of life itself, the holiness of the world, the holiness of even the holiness of time. Even though time is perishing, it perishes into eternity. It's not perishing into nothingness, but perishes in the sense of ends into transformative life. I'm not saying that right or saying it well, but it isn't oblivion, rather it's eternity. That's the truth. We move into the resurrection. When we die, even now, we share in the resurrection of Christ. That's what we celebrate that at baptism. It's a death experience. See? That's the symbol of the water and the baptismal font. Burial and life. It's reborn. We were reborn in the Spirit, guided by the Spirit, and completed by the Spirit in eternity. I think I hit it right when I was asked, when you look at paradise, what do you see? I see my family. I see the people I've loved the most. My family, June, other close friends, June especially, great companion in my life. Her family, of course, her family, which became, in a sense, in many ways, mine. But also my fellow Passionists, especially my classmates, and Flav and a bunch of the guys that were so essential in my life and who loved me, cultivated me, gave me a life beyond my imagination, a rich and happy life, a great life. It wasn't for the monks, if it wasn't for Flavian and Norb Dorsey and a bunch of those guys, Ronan Callahan and others who saw me and saw my potential, cultivated it, and sprung me loose, I would have never had the life I have had. I want to be with them again in an eternal act of gratitude to them personally. They are my saints, as are my parents and June and others. My saints. I don't need the ones in the book. I have my own.